one, she fixes Harry's glasses.
Okay,
knows
so
the spell
4.
to unlock doors,
Yeah.
Wingardium Leviosa, all that
Yeah,
jazz.
so that's 3. But I don't think there's
She
any.
kills the plant thing in the first one. In the second one, she is the one that does the work and figures out what's in the castle, how it's getting around.
Yeah, but not a spell, right? Do you think we're gonna see a resurgence of Bo Burnham-esque videos?
Why?
I don't know. I just like
What's Bo Burnham-esque?
satirical musical comedy.
I don't know.
You
I don't know if anyone could do it as good as him.
Eventually, somebody has to come along, right? That
No.
does it just as good as him.
Maybe. I mean, eventually, maybe. But
Eventually, maybe.
he's like once in a generation.
But yeah, you have Tim Minchin that happened around the same time, or a little before, I guess.
Never heard of him.
No. Prejudice? I've shown you Prejudice.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What's that one?
It's a song that's about 2 G's, an N, an E, an R, an I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a word that you're not supposed to say because it's offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can't say it.
Correct.
Chloe could say it. Boop. Anthony, if he were still here, he could say it.
For anyone that doesn't know.
That's Chloe.
Ow!
And she is a ginger.
Yeah.
Huh, Chloe? You're a little ginger. Okay. So, I've been getting cultured this last couple months.
Have you?
Yeah, you guys have been making me watch Harry Potter.
Yeah, you
Harry
wanted to
Potter.
watch Harry Potter.
You guys have forced me every other week.
You volunteered to.
You've
and you
tied
show
me
up.
to the couch and given me Oreos to convince me to stay there.
Unrelated to watching Harry Potter.
And made me watch Harry Potter.
yes,
and- I'm a little bit of a hater of
Okay.
the movies.
Why?
I just feel like I think the only reason that they're successful right now are nostalgia and the lack of there being another wizardy like a series like that in the mainstream.
Nostalgia is a big part of it for sure.
Yeah. And then there's like there's no other, it doesn't have a competitor.
Because it destroyed them all.
Cuz I don't think there's I can't think of anything that's even close to it.
Yeah, I
Right?
know. Isn't Harry Potter like the second best-selling book of all time?
The books,
After the
I'm sure,
Bible?
I'm sure the books are a lot better.
Well,
the movies are the part I'm a hater about.
it's because it's all one big world.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't think if you wiped everything and you just showed up one day and watched any one of the video or one of the movies, I don't think any of them are like, oh my God, this movie's amazing.
Yeah.
Better, like, it would never reach the level it's gotten based on just like one movie or one. It's like a whole generational, like, okay, it's not quite this good, but the Game of Thrones show
Yeah.
was, I don't think that by itself was just like as good as it got. It's just because everyone in the
Watched it.
world at the same time was watching it as it was coming out, and it's really good.
Which is fine, but like I feel like Twilight had a very similar effect.
Yeah,
But people will openly admit that Twilight movies are really bad. And that's what makes them good.
that's because they're on a whole other level.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just feel like
It goes like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Twilight.
yeah. Hey dude. You're not gonna go in there. Well, the crazy thing is he doesn't do that. Except for while we're recording this.
Yeah, because he's hoping you'll help him out.
He's like, let me in. You're right here. But yeah, he literally just never does. I use the TV that's right behind me to watch my anime. And I'll be sitting here and he'll like never do it. But when we're watching, he's like, I want in here so badly. Let me in right now.
Let me in now.
There's a closet to my right, this way, over here, that he wants to be in. By him, it's Milo. I would pick him up like we picked up Chloe, but he doesn't like being picked up.
I'll do it.
I'll be the one. Yeah, we were talking about it the other day where the movies aren't able to put as much in as the books do. But the thing I don't like is there's just no explanation for things.
It requires a lot. Well, so I think there's two issues. One, it requires a lot more suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Where you kind of just enjoy.
Yeah, you have
It's
to.
not meant to be like, does every single step of this make sense and is 100% consistent
It's
all the way across?
not meant to be a good movie from start to finish. It's meant to be part of
I didn't say that.
it's meant to be part of a franchise, and you like the franchise, so you like the movie.
That's part of it. I don't know if I'd word it like that. But also, it is a very soft magic system
Yeah.
where it's not supposed to be you have 10 magic points and each spell costs this amount and everything maps on perfectly.
Well, which is fine. The thing is, I don't like it. They're like, only the most powerful of wizards can make a Patronus charm. And he somehow did it. That's crazy. Now in the 5th movie, let's teach literally everybody that joins how to do it.
No, I think it's supposed to be like, hey, this is kind of advanced magic for a 13-year-old.
Don't they say in there that like only like really strong wizards can do that? And
I don't think it's ever supposed to be really strong. They might have said it in the movies.
Yeah,
because like I said, they do say random shit.
Yeah, it's not like
because.
the movies. I don't have a beef with the books. I never read them. The movies are just.
I don't remember if the movies ever say that though.
I feel like I don't know. That's what my brain remembers.
I think it's just supposed to be really impressive for Harry to do it as a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
But there's also a big distinction that they never make in the movies.
Yeah.
There's a Patronus, and then there's a fully formed Patronus. The fully formed one is supposed to be a lot more rare, where it actually takes an animal, a shape. Otherwise, it's supposed to be white
literally
light.
every single one of them in the movies does an animal. And then, like, they never get taught all these spells. Like, these are the ones you can't use because we're not going to teach it to you. And then somehow Harry knows all of them, and he knows them all well enough to teach everybody all these curses and kills. It's just like, in the books, I'm sure it goes through it all. In the movies, it's like, we're not going to do that because that's a banned thing. All of a sudden, hey, we know this, and he's going to be able to teach everybody, even though there's never been a showing of him, like, training it.
Well, so he has to learn the Patronus charm, which is one of the ones that the movie actually does go through.
Yeah,
which is probably why they
one.
had to use it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, Harry knows this one. Teach everyone.
Yeah.
But also, in Goblet of Fire, he goes through pretty rigorous study trying to be prepared for all the different tasks.
At the thing with
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire with what's his face, the one-eyed guy.
Cullen.
No, his teacher, the dark arts teacher that year.
Moody. Moody. Yeah.
Yeah, the one-eyed guy. But and then the
one-eyed ginger.
The one-eyed ginger. Hey, you can't say that.
Ja. I say all the words I'm not supposed to say.
Only if you're Spanish, dude. I don't know. I'm sure the books are a lot better. The movies, especially the 5th one, just irked me a little bit because it's like things just happened for the plot, or things were just forgotten for the plot, or things were just, it wouldn't have made sense, you know? Like in a real functioning world, the problems that were in there just wouldn't be problems.
But also, just in general, the world of Harry Potter, books or no books, there are things that just don't make sense because it's just supposed to be fun. Like, we live in a world where wizards can teleport anywhere on Earth at any time for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But we use owls to send our messages.
Right. Well, that's fine. That one to me is like, that's just like a societal thing. But that, like,
you could have a postman deliver everyone's mail instantly, or you wait for a bird to fly places.
Which that to me doesn't bug me in the same way, because a lot of society is built on, we do this because it's the way we've always done it. So even though they have the ways to do it, it makes sense. The ones that bug me are like, I know they explain in the books, right? But in one movie we see, we have this thing that takes us back in time so we can fix the problems. Yeah. And then like, we have this problem that maybe if we go back in time just like, I don't know, an hour, and then we can go catch the Dark Lord attacking Mr. Weasley. That'd be awesome. And then they never explain why it's not there. I know they do in the books, but in the movies it's just like, it's not there. There's never like a mention of it.
Yeah, I do think the time turner very specifically was a bad idea.
Yeah,
right. It made a really cool book.
Yeah,
the 3rd one was really cool, but anyone having access to that at any other point in time, kind of ruins everything.
Right. And then there's like the part with, I'm sure it happened. I don't know if this one happens in the book too, but Dumbledore's like, so in this dream were you here or here? And Harry's like, no, it was neither of them. Then he starts ignoring Harry. Dumbledore does. And then Harry yells at him to listen. And then it's just like this important thing they wanted to talk about to figure out what type of thing is happening specifically so they can better address it. They just completely ignore. And then later on, they have to, Harry tells some, I don't know, it's just stupid. It bugs me.
I kind of want to ask more, but I also don't want to ask more because that may or may not make sense.
That may or may not make sense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I want to risk spoiling anything. I don't know. Dumbledore asking questions has a reason.
Yeah.
Whether he ever explains it or goes into more detail or just moves on to the next thing.
Okay. But is that something you find out in a later movie, or is it just
overtly explained? But yes, it makes a lot more sense even in the movies.
Okay. It was just like, let's ask this important question, and then he's gonna freak out, and then nobody's gonna address it whatsoever, and we're just gonna move past this plot point. It was.
Or are you just having a problem with Harry freaking out and then he just did his little spiel? Because that's explained in the movies later on.
Yeah, he said he freaked out and yelled on there, but it just seemed like it was building up to go somewhere, and then it was like, no, let's just push this to the side. Like, listen to me, and then he could have done anything else. Could have changed the question. I don't know. I guess what bugged me is I have to remember how it went now. He had asked him the question, and then Harry didn't answer. This is just probably a thing that bugs me with Harry in general. Didn't answer the question, and then Dumbledore moved on, and then Harry yells, "Listen to me," and then doesn't answer the question again. So I think that's just bugged me that way.
Yeah, maybe that scene was just wonky.
Yeah. I think that's more of just the character bugged me than the movie did.
Yeah, I have never in either the book or the movie, I've never loved that plot line.
Yeah.
Of Harry being super irritated because Dumbledore is ignoring him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get it. It's Harry's going through a really hard time after the whole end of the fourth one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He just ignores his friends and other teachers and only cares that Dumbledore's ignoring him.
Yeah. And then
as if Dumbledore's been his parent the whole time, but really he has a handful of interactions with him in the first one. Doesn't really have a big interaction with him in the second one. But yeah, And then all of a sudden the fifth one he's like, I need Dumbledore to talk to me 24/7. It's why? That's never been a thing. I don't know.
I liked the third one, the third movie, because it had things that were weird and kind of out of place, but it went back and explained them all. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's cool. I like that. This one just felt like it had things that were out of place, but never went back and explained it.
Yeah, I do think it's a whole culmination of just books to movies. The fact that the fifth book was way bigger, but they tried to fit it in the same size movie, and it was the first time they did that. Well, I guess the fourth one was really big, but they just cut out so much of that one. I don't know.
Yeah. The fourth one still has it felt like this one was kind of all over the place plot-wise. Yeah. You just kind of jumped around a lot.
Just wait, because the sixth one is the one that everyone complains about. The plot of the movie just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't exist. Yay.
But it's such an entertaining movie
that it makes up for it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a really entertaining movie.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see how it goes. I'll probably give the series a watch because I'm sure the series will be much better.
I'm interested to see how the cultural reaction to it is versus people like you that are I never had all the nostalgia and bias go into it.
Yeah.
So you probably will like the series better.
Yeah.
If they do it right, obviously. Because even if they do a really good job, probably especially if they do a really good job, everyone else is gonna hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's not the movies they grew up with and good enough.
It's not the ones they watched.
That's not Harry.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. It seems like they're just okay movies.
Yeah.
They're okay. The story, I'm sure, in the books is so much better. It was a lot more popular. And it's been able to make this huge world and all the video games you can go off of it and they can expound on all of that.
I think more it's supposed to be fun ideas and things that happen and less rigorous plot in the movies for sure. But, I mean, it is what it is.
He's trying to fight me.
You're cultured, so.
I am getting more cultured now. I understand a little bit more
about
of the
5
references.
out of 8.
Yeah, 5/8 of the way there.
Yep.
Did you ever do you know the 5/7 mean?
Yeah, 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
Perfect score.
Perfect score, 5 out of 7. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a great meme from Facebook that this guy kept rating one of his friends 5 out of 7 because he said, I gave it a perfect score, 5 out of 7 on a movie. It was like The Spartan or something like that. And then the dude, Rob, I think his name is, just keeps bullying this guy on everything he says.
The funny thing is, like, I can't tell really, but like the original poster just seems like kind of dumb or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he was like, status update, watch this movie, 5 out of 7. And he's like, 5 out of 7, what kind of scale is that to rate anything?
That's better. A 5 out of 7. I think using a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 7 scale is better than the 1 to 10.
Sure.
Right? Because like 1 to 10 has too many options. You have your like analysis paralysis.
What about the people that rate out of 100?
That's crazy. Why does school do that? I want to know what I got out of 7. You got a 7 out of 7 score on this.
like the idea of bad to less bad to neutral. Because there's no like neutral in 1 through 10.
Yeah.
5.5?
Right? I don't know. It's just because you have like on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 is I really, really did not like it. 5, I really, really did like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 is like it was okay. And, 4 is okay. 2 is like I mean it wasn't the worst, but I still didn't like it too much. And then 1's like it's in the middle.
3.
What'd I say?
1.
Oh,
1 was I really, really didn't like it, or it's
my
in the
brain
middle.
is like this right now. I'm
I
trying
don't
to
rate
figure
3.
out the Harry Potter stuff still. My brain is like all sorts of jumbled. But I don't think there's any. I would love to see a competitor for like one using a magic system at all with wands to come out and
There's gotta
do
be
movies.
How has like the classic Witches and Wizards never been done?
There's
Or
like,
did
this
Harry
was the
Potter literally just
literally, like-
overshadow everything?
I don't know enough in my mind. It's just the first one, and it made it into mainstream, and everybody else is more obsessed with wizards in a fantasy setting versus wizards with wands.
But J.K. Rowling didn't like invent
Yeah,
witches and wizards with wands.
no, yeah, you're right. But
So
by the time movies were coming out and be more popular with the higher production, that's
Maybe just a
when it
movie
came
thing.
out. Yeah,
Mm.
like there's no other like there's 100% there are books that do it better, right? But movies, it just does not have a competitor because Lord of the Rings has
I don't know. It might.
like Game of Thrones to compete against. Those people compare those two a lot, especially when they had their TV series come out,
Yeah.
and then Star Wars and Star Trek.
Which shouldn't be really compared at all.
Yeah, but space stuff.
In
you know?
space.
Yeah, and then Harry Potter and
I don't know, because I feel like
What other-
if you did anything right now that could remotely have this said about it, it would just be that's a Harry Potter ripoff.
yeah, there's 2 animes I really enjoy that are just Harry Potter ripoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really fun to watch. There's Mashal, which is some guy who is a muggle, and instead of using magic, 'cause he can't, he just works out a fuck ton, and he does things that
That's so dumb.
it's so good. There's like when they do Quidditch, right? He's Harry Potter in the spoof of this anime.
Yeah.
So he's the guy,
He's Henry Porter.
Harry, right? And the way he flies is just kicking his legs back and forth so much he makes enough air resistance to stay in the air. And like
Yeah.
it's like he's just continually
swimming.
Yeah, in the air, and he just throws the little not the seeker but the other ball.
Snitch.
This-
Quaffle.
Oh no, Quaffle.
Bludger.
Which was the one that gives the normal points?
Quaffle.
Quaffle. He just throws a quaffle through the whole time. But it's the exact same setup. Everything's the same. And then he uses hamstring magic. He uses back magic, bicep magic, which is just him punching you,
Muscle magic.
running really fast. Yeah. And there's another one that is more of a like Mashal is just a spoof,
Yeah.
right? They have the houses. You get instead of a sorting hat, it's a sorting horse, like a skeleton horse. That comes and you sit next to it, and then it tells you what house you're supposed to go in.
Sure.
Then they have the 4 houses. They have the tournament. They have all that. There's another one that's new. It's called Wands in Wisteria, and it's you have your Hogwarts, and then you have your character who is the nerdy guy with the glasses. once again can't use magic in this one, so he uses a sword instead, and he just becomes a beast at fighting with a sword, but kind of still a spoof in that it's a Hogwarts-esque thing, and they have their Triwizard tournament in it.
But see, when you're watching those, how concerned are you that like the plot makes sense? You're 75% in or whatever. Do you ever think back like, oh, but if like they use this idea or technology back then, or vice versa, like things don't make sense?
Yeah, they don't do that.
I don't know if I believe you.
We can watch them. They just don't do that.
Just as critical.
No, I think the reason I am critical is because the shows I usually watch, granted, are episodic, so they have more opportunity to do that, but they literally don't do that. Or if something does come along that could have helped, there's a reason to it. But
yeah, they magically got stronger.
No, none of that. It's like, there's nothing in Mashal or Wands of Astoria that are like, oh, that would have helped. It's literally just like in Mashal, he goes against one guy one time and just barely stands by, goes against him a second time, and he ends up winning. But it's not because anything necessarily changed, just, oh, I fought you before, I know what to expect from you. So now when I see you doing this spell, I know this is going to happen. So I'm going to beat you now, but I didn't do anything. I didn't learn anything new. I didn't learn some magic spell or fun way to hit something that's better. It's literally just, oh, I fought you before, so now I have experience. Now I can have a better chance of beating you.
Mm-hmm. And
then, like, one of the characters uses explosive magic in Mashal. That's all he ever uses. Every time. And it doesn't change whatsoever, and he gets beat up every single time still. Like there's literally no... Because he's hard-headed. He's like, I don't need to change. I'm the hot-headed guy who uses explosive magic. That's all you need.
I like that he says that about himself.
Yeah, he does.
I don't need to change. It's like, you've never won.
Yeah.
One of these days. If I explode harder.
Right. Yeah, there's...
Oh, we'll see.
Nothing in those ones that... Oh, if you would have known this at this time, it would have been better. There's no...
Not that you would have known this at this time, but like this, I don't know. I don't know enough about the show to pick it apart, obviously.
Yeah.
But like this piece of magic, I mean, it's hard because the main character doesn't use magic, but...
Yeah, he just punches people. And then if he's having a hard time, he just has to figure out how to get around the magic. Yeah, well... Oh. Right, like he goes against somebody who his power is like polarity. He can increase him and slow other people down. So it makes him seem like he's super quick. So he just has to, once he figures out that's what the magic is, he can kind of break it down and be like, okay, since I'm moving slower, I need to respond in this way. But there's literally no, oh, I have this magic item now that lets me get him, right? Or I have this spell that lets me get him. It's all experience-based, and he does better because of the experience.
We'll think of something.
And then in Wands of Astoria, the guy doesn't have magic at all. He does have a sword, which dispels magic when it hits it, which is his special sword.
Special sword.
His special sword. And like he goes against one person in particular who has a really powerful form of magic, and he's able to keep breaking it down. It doesn't explain right away why he's able to like just nonchalantly beat this magical magic, this powerful magic. But during the fight, they have like an emotional moment where they're talking about it. And it goes back to a character that you've known from episode 1. So in this story, there's episode 1, there's a girl. There's the sword guy and the powerful magic guy. Powerful magic guy is mimicking the girl's magic.
Okay.
Yeah, because she was a savant, she was a prodigy, and very early on got thrown way up to the top, right? So he's copying that, and as they're fighting, you learn that how she practiced was fighting the sword guy.
Okay.
So that's why he's able to beat her, but it's not like beat him. It's not like he was losing and then he remembered, oh yeah, this is just like this one. I can do this. It's from the very beginning. He was like, oh, I know how to fight this. I'm going to do it. And everyone says, why can you do that? And then it shows in the backstory. But there's never a moment of, I couldn't do this. Now I can. There are anime like that. Like I stopped watching those anime, like Fairy Tail. There was one episode I watched that made me just drop the whole show, even though I was like 300 episodes in. And it was...
Jesus.
It's because they were fighting, and the main character is losing, can't even touch the guy, can't even get any of his stuff off. And then everybody else beats their respective person, and the main character goes, "That's right, I need to do this for them," and then one shots the big bad.
Oh, I need to try harder.
Yeah, and I was like, that's
I love
fucking
those
stupid.
moments.
So I
They're
turned it off
silly.
and just stopped watching the show.
Mm.
Yeah, these ones, they don't have that issue.
I don't know if that's the issue that you have with Harry Potter, though. It's literally just the time turner.
No,
It
it's
should never have been invented.
well, I'm pretty sure the Patronus thing too is there, and then they're like, we don't teach they specifically say we don't teach these spells because they're banned, and then he teaches people them, like Curcio. Like, we don't teach Curcio; it's a banned thing.
Yeah.
And then he knows Curcio, right? There's a whole thing about it where they have the spider, and they say, these are the 3 ones we will not teach you.
Yeah.
These are bad, and then he knows them.
But that
and
was
in the movies,
in that scene, he's literally teaching the kids what the spells are.
yeah, but he doesn't teach them how to do it, right? It shows them. It's like, this is the spell.
Yeah.
He does the he teaches them how to no, that's with the Death Eaters, make them something funny or whatever it is. But yeah, he literally in the movies at least is like, we don't teach you, these are banned spells, and then they know them. And that's what bugs me is the movies don't have the time to do the proper explanation.
Yeah.
Whereas the books do, and a TV show probably will. I think my issues with it is I usually watch episodic things, and they have more time to do that.
That's
versus the movie, which has to assume that you've read the source material or you know it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it kind of puts those things into place. Because watching it from a part where I know nothing about the source material, there are things that happen. I'm like, that you said last time that doesn't. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay. The Crucio thing. I mean, he teaches him the spell, though.
Yeah, but
all you need to know is how to say the word.
That's all you need.
Not really.
Yeah, there's the whole thing about the
Swish
the flick.
and flick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my beef with it is
in the book. There's like a whole montage / revisited scene that they go through of Crucio, and Moody actually casts it on every person in the class because he's like, if you have like enough willpower and certain like focus and stuff, you can actually overcome or the Imperious curse, which is like the mind control. It's like you can do it, and Harry's the only one in class that can actually like overcome it.
Yeah. After
a little bit, and he doesn't do a very great job. He like jumps off a desk and face plants into the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing too. Like that bugged me a little bit in the 4th one. I mentioned it then was they at one point say Hermione is like the greatest at the school. She's like, you are the greatest wizard
of her
for your age at the school here.
Yes.
And then they're like, you're doing all these things. You're so far advanced of everybody else. And then they show the next people that are like 1 year up, and they're like, you are the best person you've ever seen at this school. It just like
who?
For the Triwizard.
Just kidding.
Tournament. It was just a lot
Cedric?
of like.
No, Cedric's gifted.
No, the Shark Boy.
Crumb,
yeah. It was just like all of them like, oh, this is the best ever. It just, I'd have to watch again to say when I complained was. I remember saying it then, but it just felt for the plot we're to make these people very scary, but it just disregards what we had told Hermione before.
Are you talking about, so there's a line or whatever when Moody's talking to Harry, he's like, hey, just so you know, like at your age, Cedric could turn a whistle into a watch and have it sing you the time.
Yeah.
Crumb has seen spells that make your skin crawl or whatever, and Fleur is about as much of a fairy princess as I am.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah, he's saying that they're doing all these things at their age, but in the movie before they said that Hermione is like incredibly, like she's a prodigy.
Yeah, I think
so. That stuff is just like another thing where it's like maybe explains in the books, but in the movies it just discredits what was said before. That doesn't have the continuity.
I think the point is that like the 3 wizards that were actually chosen are supposed to be like Hermione's level, but also year 7.
Yeah, but then they never show Hermione doing that. That's what bugs. They're like, Hermione, you're the best at doing that. But I know it's just a movie thing, right? It's
well, I mean, Hermione does all the like spells that like Harry and Ron have just never even heard of.
Right, but we don't see that in the movie.
A little bit,
right? When do we see her?
Mostly in the first one when she's like solving all the problems, and they're like, "Oh, cool, I'm glad." Fuck.
What? I feel like she's only cast like 3 spells so far. By the time we got to the 5th movie, she unlocked the door.
Yeah,
she's done Leviosa, and then in the 5th one she did the attack, Expecto but whatever.
So in the first one she fixes Harry's glasses.
Okay,
knows
so
the spell
4.
to unlock doors,
Yeah.
Wingardium Leviosa, all that
Yeah,
jazz.
so that's 3. But I don't think there's
She
any.
kills the plant thing in the first one. In the second one, she is the one that does the work and figures out what's in the castle, how it's getting around.
Yeah, but not a spell, right?
Not a spell,
Yeah,
but
so I'm
like
just
just reasoning and logic, and
Mm.
she's way gifted for a 12-year-old or whatever.
Yeah. Which is awesome. It's just it like.
In the third one, she's using the time turner to take all of the classes.
Yeah,
instead
but that's
of
not the
just
spell. You know, like it shows that
I mean,
she's very
you don't-
smart. And she's
yeah,
a
you don't.
nerd.
Do you have
but-
to see her cast every single spell to know that she can do it?
I think it's just if in the movies it feels like it undermines of like, oh, she's this great person. You're like, oh, she's really cool, and then it's like, oh, but these people were as good as her, but you don't ever see her do it. It just feels
You don't see Cedric do anything special.
yeah.
But you just accept that he is because Moody said it.
Well, they never like the issue with it is they say, oh, you do this, and we see Hermione going about her things and being like a really smart nerdy, right? And then they immediately just kind of like shove it down. It feels like, oh, they do all this, this, and this. And I go, well, why don't we get to see that? Why don't we get to see like the actual wizardy stuff?
The thing that bothered me in the movie is, I mean, I get it because it's Harry's perspective, but you don't even see the other contestants solve the puzzles
Yeah.
or the challenges or whatever.
But they do in the books, right?
But you just accept that they can do it because they're really good and they complete the task.
But that one I feel like they're going to because it has to fit for the plot. The other ones feel like you're just undermining, or you're doing it because it makes the stakes feel higher.
Maybe.
But it is coming from a 100% don't know the story of it beyond the movies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot more in the books, but
Mm.
I feel like with a 2-hour running time or whatever, you kind of just have to. One line of dialogue might be all you can do for a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Hermione's
And
the brightest witch of her age. She can do all this and blah, 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 and she's special.
Mhm.
And then you kind of just have to accept that a little bit.
Right.
I don't know.
And then I'm sure it's things that got cut out as well. Like in the 5th one, Harry is up against one of the fire things because he just got blasted by he who shall not be named, and his wand goes who knows where, and he's
Mhm.
sitting there the whole time. And then as soon as they're kind of done with it and all the sand is falling, Harry's right there with his wand in hand. But the whole time you see him against the wall. And that was probably just a deleted scene where he gets up and he goes and grabs his wand, comes back as ready to fight, and then
Yeah, maybe.
goes. Those type of things don't bug you as much. Like I get that one. It's the ones where like, oh, this is this, but it doesn't matter right now because if it did matter, then the plot wouldn't be as cool. If we showed that Harry was around this person who always knew these spells and is super gifted, it wouldn't make it feel as high of a stake. If we then said, oh, no, these 3 people are here, completely different league of their own. It just feels like they're doing things to make it seem more scary in the movies. But you'd have to forget about things you've learned in the past. You know?
Maybe.
Yeah. That's my gripe about it so far. We'll see. Maybe I'll watch the 8th one. I'll be like, you know what? Never mind.
It's hard to remember all the different things. The 6th one, I don't know. The 6th and 7th ones, there's 2 of them, are a lot more like they've learned all the magic basics and kind of shown their stuff, and now it's just like character storylines.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's going to be as much of that in those ones.
Yeah. I like character storyline stuff.
Unless I'm just misremembering.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out how it goes, and I'll see if I'm still a bit of a hater of it. I'm sure that 90% of it is just I don't watch movies, so I'm not used to the movie flow of things.
Maybe.
And it's just I'm not used to suspending that a little bit of disbelief where the shows I usually watch have the opportunity.
We don't have a 12-episode arc to explain this thing.
I know, it's fucked up. Why not?
Because it would be too long.
Why can't you have 1,000 episodes?
We can't show it in theaters and make a lot of money.
Yeah, they show it in theaters all the time.
What?
Harry Potter?
No, that's what I'm saying. We can't show all of One Piece in the theaters because no one would watch it.
Yeah. They can do what they do on YouTube and live stream it.
No.
Why not?
Because to watch that stuff, you either have to be like watching it at work or watching it at the gym, or you can't be like, I'm going to sit down and watch a 2-hour chunk, because then it would take, how long would it take to watch those things?
It's a 2-hour long chunk.
Well, but for 1,000 episodes worth.
For 2 hours each?
Or half hour.
A long time.
Yeah. Too long.
One Piece can do it.
Barely. I've heard it fell off.
Yeah, I don't like the animation part of it too much.
Oh.
The pacing's bad. I'm excited. They're doing something called I forget the name of it, but a different studio is taking over a remake of One Piece where they're just gonna fix all the pacing issues. So instead of being 1,000 episodes, they're gonna get rid of all the fluff stuff that shouldn't be there, and it's gonna be a couple hundred episodes still. But
So yeah, okay. Which I don't know. I mean, I like longer form episodic stuff too, but
yeah, I have to be fair with Harry Potter movies and One Piece, I have the same complaint I think with the One Piece, a very similar complaint at least with the One Piece anime.
yeah.
Right, but I know the source material, the manga and all that, and I understand where they're coming from with it, but it really bugs me watching the anime because they just do things for the sake of doing things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop. Like, you're not doing anything to add or to explain. You're just showing the same. There's one episode where they show the same flashback like 5 times in a row. It's like each different character has a different experience that reminds them of the same flashback. And I'm like, stop. I get it. But they want to.
We're filling up our 22 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is because, like, in the anime in specific, the problem they have is the manga doesn't do 52 episodes a year.
I was gonna say, to be fair, they have to like try and keep up with the source material because I don't know why you would choose to do that.
They don't. The manga doesn't want them to. The manga's like, we do like 42 chapters a year.
Well, I mean, why
and
would
then
the
studio
creators of the show choose to do that?
Oh, because people keep coming each.
We have to follow once
Yeah.
a week with this, even like.
Yeah, it's stupid. So they end up they'll make like 2 episodes out of 1 chapter. And it's like, it didn't need to be that.
Yeah.
There's animes like Free Run that I like a lot more that has, or even 86. Each episode is about a chapter. So they go through each episode and they get almost identical to the source material going through.
And then if the source material is behind, I would I'd just skip an episode or something. Like, just
Yeah,
don't
just
release
don't-
anything for this.
Yeah.
Because you don't have. I feel like that's a big problem with Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
is they kept going past the books.
Yeah, so they just
It's like you're not writing the characters how they're supposed to be written, and everything's falling apart. Yeah.
yeah, and that bugs me. The manga, one of the best forms of like I don't know, fantasy that there is. I think it's just amazing, really, really good. There's like hardly any issues on there. The anime though has a lot to be.
Yeah.
It's 1,000, like almost 1,200 episodes of 20-minute long episodes that are 10 minutes of filler.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yep.
I'm so glad I never watched it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing from you.
You know, I haven't watched the anime for like 100 or so episodes. I'm up to date on the manga stuff
Yeah.
because the story's still really good, but I just don't like it's hard to watch.
Yeah. Bringing it back, that's why I don't really care about the Harry Potter series as much, because the movies are fun to watch for me, and then the books is where I like took the story.
Yeah, the source material is always
I have
the
no
best.
interest in the third adaptation of the same story that may or may not have the right details in it, because the book already had the details in it.
It'd be very interesting to see somebody take the source material and make the 5th movie again, because I think, I would assume at least, that there's ways to make the movie and just do different scenes that make it feel more put together.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think part of that was they were rushing because they wanted to release a movie a year, basically, because the kids were growing up, and they wanted to make the actors look the right age, which I get. So it's probably all rushed. And
Yeah, all pushed through.
they did what they could have. Starting with the 4th one, they probably should have done. If they
2.
They start giving the kids puberty blockers, and they do 2 parts per movie.
Or they just make them work double time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you need school or sleep for?
They're kids. They don't need sleep.
Daniel Radcliffe, the guy who plays Harry Potter, was very. I think he was hungover for like the majority of the 6th movie or 7th. I can't remember which one.
He would just go
but
party all the time.
He had a big child star partying
phase.
issue, which
A lot of people do, yeah. I'm still waiting for mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, to have enough money that I can go do cocaine every night and not worry about it.
Just go into a bunch of debt.
I want to not worry about it. I guess I just don't care about the debt.
Yeah. When you're on the cocaine, you won't worry about it.
Right. Well,
use the cocaine to do double the work to pay for the cocaine.
Work harder so you can make back the money. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the Harry Potters right now. Go in the comments, tell me how I'm wrong.
He's wrong.
And give me all the examples from the books to fill in the gaps that I don't know because I just don't know them because I'm only watching the movies. And then we'll respond and we'll fight in the comments.
Yeah, we'll fight you.
Yeah, I'll find out where your IP address is and I'm gonna show up at your house.
I'm gonna show up at your IP house.
Your IP house. Yeah, I will rear naked choke you.
Well, I mean,
like and
need I
subscribe.
say more? Oh. Okay.
All right.
See ya.
Bye. They can't see her.
Meow.
Bye.